All right, another week of picks. Another week of picks. Easy enough for me to say. Michigan State is going to Oregon. A great Michigan State team, Matt. They are a 24-point underdog on the road Friday night.
It's a lot of points. Thinking about this one all week, really, but I'm going to take the Oregon Ducks, Ryan, at home. Take care of business before Ohio State. Give me the Ducks.
I don't know how you can't think about the Friday night game. The last two have been awesome if you've been paying attention. I think I'm going to go Oregon too. They did a pretty good job of getting close to covering that line on the road last week. I think they get it done against a bad Michigan State team.
Yeah, I'll take the Ducks as well. I agree with y'all. These Friday night games, love them. Love them, love them. That one's on Fox. This one is too. Ryan, Matt's UCLA Bruins are a 28.5-point favorite. Or 28.5-point dog at Penn State. Is Penn State got something going on here that we don't know about, or is this just about UCLA?
I think that this is more about UCLA. They're on the road.
Penn State is a 28-point favorite at home. UCLA is on the road, correct?
Yeah, I'm gonna take UCLA there. That's a lot of points. This is a Penn State team. Illinois is a good football team. I think that we've seen enough to know that they're not bad. 21-7, I think was the score last week. Penn State doesn't have that type of explosion. UCLA is going to get a couple touchdowns and cover.
Yeah, I think this is where Penn State falls back a little bit with the mighty Bruins. A team that just covers. They're going to go over there, Dean, and they're going to cover again. I'm riding with my Bruins. Third time in a row this year. They're going to get it done again on the road.
I'm going to take the Bruins as well. I don't dislike that pick at all. I'll grab – that's a lot of points. I don't trust Penn State. Never have, never will. No jokes about stuff. Hey, look, Missouri is going to Texas A&M. I think this is actually a very important game, Ryan. Mizzou undefeated by the skin of their overtime. They are a 2.5-point dog on the road. Seems right. What do you think?
What time is that at?
Noon. 11 o'clock local for both.
Yeah, I'll take Missouri, just the better football team. Texas A&M has already proven to me that their home atmosphere does not matter in big games this season. So I'll take Missouri, although they're probably not as good as we thought a few weeks ago.
Matt?
Yeah, I like that pick too a little bit. I think it's, at some point we're going to see that Missouri team that I think we thought we were going to see a little early on the season. Wouldn't surprise me if they went on the road to take care of business. I think Missouri, again, is just a better team, Dean. I'm going to take Missouri on the road to cover that.
Yeah, I am too. So I'm a little wary of how much we're. Go ahead, Ryan. Say that again.
I said we're 3 for 3.
Yeah, I don't like that so much. Maybe that'll break up here in a second as Iowa travels to Ohio State. The Buckeyes will start their college football season soon. I'm not sure when, Matt, but the Iowa Hawkeyes are a 21-point dog. Can they bother to score enough points to keep this one close? Uh-oh.
I want them to. I want to say Iowa, but I think it's going to happen. I'm going to take the Buckeyes to kind of roll. It's a 21-point spread?
21.
Right?
That's correct.
Okay. I think the Buckeyes are going to keep rolling too much offensively, defensively. They're a really good team. I think they'll make somewhat of another statement there with a win and a cover.
Okay, I'm going to take Ohio State as well, Ryan. I think that Iowa just can't score. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a combination of Iowa can't score and Ohio State's just too talented, right? We're not going to know we'll know a little bit more next week when Ohio State takes on Oregon, but I think they're just going to keep thumping people until they're really challenged. This is one of the best rosters we've seen in a while.
The South Carolina Gamecocks are getting 9 points at home against the Rebels, who really just didn't play well last week. This is going to be the 3:30 game opposite Georgia and Auburn. I'm going to take Carolina. I don't think they win this game. I would not be shocked with almost anything, Matt.
Yeah, I don't like that we're agreeing. I want to take Carolina here, too. I think their defense is good enough to make things interesting against Jackson Dart, who didn't really play well at all. Again, that was a tough loss, Dean. I think you said it about 1,000 times in Tuscaloosa. That was a tough loss for Ole Miss. That was a tough loss. And you're right. On the road, Williams-Brice can get rowdy, Ryan. I think they'll it's in Carolina, right? Or am I just totally blanking? Yeah, give me the Gamecocks at home to cover.
What's the line again?
It is
9.
9. South Carolina is getting 9 points at home.
I think I'm going to take Ole Miss here. I think they bounce back from that Kentucky game. They're better than what happened last week, in my opinion. So I'm going to take the Rebels to go on the road and cover. I don't like it. I think Williams-Brice is an underrated environment, and it's going to get a little rowdy. But I just think Ole Miss is better than them.
There are a lot of there. I don't know why I'm including this. I might just chop it right now, which I think I'm actually going to do. Let's go to the next one. My wife's taters are going to go visit Florida State, and I don't know if Florida State knows what they're doing at quarterback. Clemson's a 14.5-point favorite on the road. I think they're going to smash the shit out of Florida State because of a lot of different reasons. Ryan, what do you suspect on this game? I will. By the way, I didn't say it out loud. I will take Clemson to cover.
Yeah, I've got Clemson too. Florida State's a disaster. I knew that they were going to take a step back, and I thought a pretty big step back. But this is falling down the stairs. I mean, it's bad. It's not. There's a reason why they had DJU out there, right? I mean, you got to bench him at some point if he's just not the guy. But they didn't do that through a month. It took him getting hurt for them to get him out of the lineup. So I've got Clemson here.
Yeah, I thought the spread would be a lot more than this. I think Clemson's going to go down and absolutely thump them. I don't know how many people are going to be in the stands. Florida State's season has been over for a while.
Yeah.
Revenge game a little bit. Clemson and DJU, if he's even the guy, doesn't matter. I think we're all in agreement here. I think Clemson's going to go down there and try to embarrass them if they can. Wouldn't surprise me if that happened.
Hey, I cut the Alabama Vanderbilt game because it's there's just so many much more interesting games than that one, and we only pick 8 games, so I mean there's some really good ones here. I mean I probably should have cut another one. Would y'all rather pick Miami Washington, Miami Cal, or Michigan Washington?
Maybe Miami Cal.
Miami Cal.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
all right. Well, all right, okay. Miami is a 10.5-point favorite on the road. They did not look good last week against Virginia Tech. They probably should have lost that game, Matt. What do you make of them going across the country? It's game day. It will be game night. ACC after dark.
Give me a bounce back for Miami. Cam Ward, I think, is going to put on a little bit of a show after. He kind of did put on a show last week, even though he looked bad at times. He's going to bounce back. I think Miami's going to go out there. I don't know how they're going to match up with that environment. It might take a slow start, but 10.5 points I think is manageable enough for that explosive offense if they get going. Might be dumb, but I'm going to take the Canes on the road.
Yeah, this one's a good one in terms of just picking the game because that's tough. I agree with Matt that there were just a lot of bad moments for Cam Ward in that game, but there were also a lot of like whoa moments. Wow, that's really high level. So I'm gonna take Miami as well in a little bit of a bounce back game. Cal is just not one of those places where weird things are gonna happen. It's just not unless Auburn's going there.
Let me just say this there real quick. I mean, Auburn won there last year. They lost to Cal at home this year, for the record. I think this is exactly the environment Miami plays in front of all the time. A bunch of nobody in the stands. Give me Cal. I'm rocking with your Bears, the Golden Bears. And they've got some great trolling fans. Alabama fans have been trying to troll this week. It's really simplistic. Guys, we got to step our game up a little bit, all right? I know you're still scared half to death. You got your diaper on tight because of how tight that one was the other night when it shouldn't have been. But pay attention to the Cal people, man. They're really good at trolling. That's just my take. Give me Cal. And then, Matt, give me one of the great rivalries in sport, the second most played rivalry in college football. Auburn and Georgia are going to collide Saturday for the Deep South's oldest rivalry, most played rivalry. This is the only one that has. Let me just add this too. There's only one other game, which is I believe Wisconsin, Minnesota for Paul Bunyan's Act. Could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty certain those two schools that have played more often than Georgia Auburn. My suspicion is in about 20 years we'll be saying this is the most played rivalry in sports in college football. Matt. Auburn's not great, but they come to Athens as a 24-point dog. Go.
Just straight up 24?
Why are we so worried about hooks all of a sudden? Yeah, I'm going by the lines I see in front of me. It is Georgia's a 24-point favorite. I've seen 24.5. I've seen 23.5, but right in front of me now is 24.
Well, I think the game is going to be kind of around that level. I think Georgia's going to win. I'm going to take Auburn to cover. I think their defense can be stingy at times and can give Georgia some problems, especially if they don't get that run game going. But I think I'm thinking like a 31-10 type of victory. So I think Georgia wins by around 20, 21 points. So that's why I think Auburn covers. But Georgia's the much better team. They do have some pretty good receivers on the outside that could give Georgia's defensive backs some trouble. Peyton Thorne is not a good quarterback, but he can run and find a way to make some plays. He wasn't terrible at all against Oklahoma until he threw the game-losing pick six, which was the biggest play of the game. That was awful. But he, showed that arm talent a little bit and the ability to halfway play the position well. So I do think it'll be more of a 31-10 type of score. Ryan, Georgia wins convincingly, but I'm going to take Auburn to cover.
I think Georgia's going to crush Auburn on Saturday. I do. I think they bounce back from just dramatic sometimes it's hard to come back from an emotional game like that, especially on the losing side. But I think you saw the way Kirby reacted to that. I think that these players they understand what's in front of them. I think they're going to take it out on this Auburn team. Auburn's kind of offensively just a way worse version of what Alabama can do in terms of a running quarterback and some of the play calling and just some of the talent that they have. It's going to be in Athens. I don't know if it's going to be quite as drastic as 2 seasons ago when it was 42-10, 42-7, something around that. But I think it's closer to that than to this line.
Yeah, that game took a little. People don't remember this, but that game, Georgia didn't play so hot in that game.
They ran well.
They came back. That was the week after Missouri. Is that right? I believe it was. And they smashed their brains in, but it took a little bit of time. I'm going to take Auburn. I know I probably shouldn't because of the explanation Ryan gave, but I think we need to see what Georgia is going to do here in this game. I think the start of the game is important, but I think this game, no one has doubt. Y'all have all both said you don't have doubt about who will win the game. I don't either, but I think it's important to see how Georgia plays during this game. What is this? And I think for the record, I cut the Alabama-Vanderbilt game. I think it's important to see how Alabama plays at the beginning of the Vanderbilt game too. I don't think there's any question about who wins these 2 games, but I'll take Auburn. I'm not in love with it. I could see Georgia absolutely destroying Auburn. I could also, but right now I kind of want to hedge my bets a little bit with the Dogs. And I will take the Auburn Tigers to cover. And the 24 points, I mean, Ryan, if they score 10 points, which is not out of the realm of possibility, that means you got to get up to 35. The Auburn defense is okay. Now, I think the Alabama defense
is Clemson's, man. I mean.
Yeah. No, I know.
So is Bama's. They can get to that number.
They can get to that number for sure. And what I was going to say was, my suspicion is we've seen the best defenses Georgia's going to play, and they were Clemson and Kentucky, not Alabama. And we'll just see how it goes. But Auburn's is a pretty good defense, and we'll just see what happens. Join us for Riding Home after the game. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.